the indie world of music. We have indie artists and a lot of movers and shakers in this world we call independent artists and music nowadays. And so glad and so excited to have Mr. Chris Molitor from Nashville, Tennessee on with us today. Chris, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to hang out with us for a little bit.
Man, absolutely. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah. Now, you're in Nashville. Kind of give everybody a quick breakdown of what you do. I know what you do because I reached out to you via TikTok because I am a huge TikTok fan of yours because I love the material you already are putting out there to help artists and encourage and to help grow. And that's one of the things that truly, truly attracted me to your TikTok channel. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, my wife and kids and I, we live in Nashville. We're technically south of Nashville. We found a house down here with a little more backyard for our boys to run around in. But yeah, I've always been in music. Right now, focus much more on the production and songwriting side. My background is more of a performer, was in a couple bands over the years, have a few solo projects out on Spotify. But yeah, the last handful of years have just felt a shift into more of a support role, pouring into other artists, helping other people on their path in their creative journey. And for me, being able to do that from the producer's chair or from the writer's room or even through social media has felt like such a natural fit for where my heart's at and also where our family's at, just our season of life. It's a much easier thing for me to do than being on the road or being out late playing bar gigs. Nothing wrong with that, just for our season of life, though.
Well, I know Mama and the kids are probably glad to have Dad home for a while, and that's just so cool.
Oh, absolutely they are.
Gives you an avenue to be home and still be out there and in front of people. Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, folks, if you have not looked at Chris's TikTok, it's so informative. And I tell you, it's inspiring as well, too, because being a guy that's been in the trenches for a long time, you get tired. You get worn and you try to look for that magic bullet. That, okay, all right, what's going to be the thing that's really going to get me going? And one of the things I love about you preach consistency.
I do. Well, I think it's the unsung hero. You know, it's consistency. We live in a world of viral moments, and I don't know how many millions of pieces of content get released every day between songs on Spotify and clips on TikTok, but it's such quick content, right? And so in some ways that can feel hard because you want that post to go viral. So you tend to get discouraged when that first single that comes out didn't go gangbusters in streams, or you get discouraged when those first few videos on TikTok didn't go viral. But the key is consistency. And I think the benefit of everything being online now is you have access to the same platform, the same general population that the A-list artists do now. Yeah. Do they have a bigger team and bigger finances? Absolutely. But you have access to the same people they do. And in my experience, the one who is consistent and the one who doesn't quit, good things start to happen real fast, faster than you think it's going to happen.
I know you're doing a lot of coaching and a lot of help on that. Are you still writing? Do you find yourself, is that a habit you're keeping up still?
Absolutely. Yeah. For me, songwriting is the main thing, and it will always be the main thing. So for me right now, writing with a lot of different artists, for me, I've never been a person that I can take a break from writing for 6 months and then come back to it and be at the same place that I was as a writer. I feel so rusty if I do that. So for me, it's something that I have to be doing it every day, even if it's just 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. Like I have to keep that muscle strong, so that when I do get the phone call to step into the writing room with an artist, I'm ready to go. So yeah, for me, songwriting is always the passion. It's the bread and butter, and it's kind of the crux of everything else that I do. I just love it.
Yeah, and you're in the place to do it. You're in town, so that's where to be.
Yeah.
A lot of the folks that I've spoke with and that have interviewed on the show, you know, they're independent artists, so they're kind of strung out. So they're not necessarily in Nashville. And I tell them all the time, you know, even if you're in a rural area, just like myself, I'm in South Georgia, you still find you a community that you can get together and you can bounce things off of, and just like you said, not get rusty, stay fresh.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, we haven't lived in Nashville all that long. It's coming up on about 1 year actually.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
Prior to that,
Yeah, where are you
it
originally
hasn't
from?
been that long, but I'm from Michigan originally. Prior to this, we were in Northern California for a few years for a job. Prior to that, we were in Spokane, Washington for about 6 or 7 years.
Man, you guys have been all
where my wife's
around.
family's from, and we have been, man. But I'll tell you what, I mean, neither of those, Redding, California is not a huge music city. It's tiny. Spokane, Washington's a larger city, but there's not a huge music scene. If you asked any of the musicians there, they would tell you there's not a huge music scene in Spokane. But even still, like, you're able to find like-minded people that carry the same fire in their belly that you do for music or for songwriting. And still to this day, one of my best friends and best co-writers that I bring a lot of songs to lives in Spokane, Washington. He's not even a full-time musician. He does coffee. Yeah. A guy named Shane Thompson, and he is one of the best songwriters that I know.
I bet he
you can find people.
Great stories, though, because he's around people all day long. So I bet he gets great inspiration to stories all day long.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He, one of his gigs, he works at a big venue called The Gorge, and he just hangs out with musicians all day. And, and they have no idea that he's just this incredibly talented songwriter, as he's serving them coffee. But you can find people. I think people are afraid to put themselves out there. I tell people, I see comments all the time on TikTok of people going like, well, I don't know who to co-write with. And it's like, well, when's the last time you went to a show? Well, it's been a long time. Okay. When's the last time you were at an open mic night? Well, I've never been to open mic night. Okay. Go, get off the couch, get out of your house. Like, we wait for doors to open without ever opening our own front door. And that's such a critical part of that is as you move, momentum starts to happen. Momentum's real hard to find when you're sitting still. And so, I would encourage everybody, there are people around you. You just got to go find them.
What are you finding? Because you're around a lot of independent artists and you being one yourself. What do you think's been probably one of the biggest challenges that you or some of the other independent artists that you hang around with are facing right now?
I think one of the big challenges that is so new and everyone's trying to overcome it and figure out what to do is it's not enough just to be a talented, gifted singer-songwriter or artist these days. That's right. You also have to get very good at being a content creator. Yeah. And so many some hats. Of that is a real hard, so many hats. It's a hard pill to swallow of like, okay, I just want to make music. Okay, that's awesome, but no one's going to hear it if you don't have a following. And right now in our culture, that's social media. Yeah. I still think there's power in live music and live shows, but again, without social media, who's coming to those live shows? That's right. So you have to embrace social media. It's something that took me far too many years to understand, not to understand, but just to embrace. I understood it. I just fought against it. I bucked against it, which was so silly. But now I think for most artists, as soon as they can wrap their head around, okay, this is part of the job. This is part of the deal. I have to commit to posting every day. You see a lot of experts about social media, and I think a lot of it is relatively worthless. But there was only one thing that I saw where that clicked for me, where they said, post once a day for a year, and your life will not look the same at the end of that year. And I can say that that's 100% true. You have to be posting, and consistency is the key, back to that word. You have to be willing to do that. So that's a huge challenge for artists right now. They got to wrap their head around that.
Are you finding that? Because my biggest dilemma I had, I've really focused on doing that, what you said, posting once a day. And some of the other fellas that I follow, they say, even at one a day nowadays is not enough. You need to be doing 3 and 4 times a day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run off what few followers I have. I don't want to just feel like I'm vomiting content on them all the time. But the more I've asked around, I ask people, because when I see people that follow me or come to my shows, I'm like, and I said, how often are you seeing the posts? And they said, well, they're not seeing all of them. And then you get this, when you start posting 2, 3, 4 times a day, you start getting these notifications from Facebook saying, hey, you're such a great content creator or whatnot. We're going to expand your viewing audience. I'm like, so you've had me governed the whole time. So I don't know. It gets exhausting.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. And to me, it's incredible how much. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine, brother. I think that a big key. So I would agree. I think the more that you post, if you can do 2, 3, 4 times a day, that's great. I think it's actually better. The algorithm doesn't work like it used to. Not everybody who follows you is seeing your content. In fact, if you look, I check my the analytics on TikTok not too often, but once in a while I'll take a peek at it. And 98% of the views on videos that I post are not people that follow me. It's, it's everybody else that the algorithm's pushing it out to. Very few of your followers are seeing your content. And so if the concern is, well, I don't want to bombard them, they're not being bombarded. They are hardly seeing it at all. And so, yeah, the algorithm absolutely rewards people that are consistent and people that post a lot. The thing that I think people get hung up on is, well, is this good enough? Is this high enough quality? Does this meet a standard? Is this worth posting? Oh, I'm not sure. And again, in our modern culture, the modern algorithm, especially on TikTok, it does not have to be perfect. It can be a 5-second clip. Some of the posts that I've done that have gone the most viral, I mean, nothing crazy huge, but tens of thousands of views, were not videos that I filmed on a nice camera with nice lighting and a nice microphone. It's just me holding my phone up and just talking for a minute about something that was on my heart. So there's many different types of content that you can post, and not all of them need to be this level 10 high quality clip. It's just about consistency and staying connected to that audience. It can be 5-10 seconds. It can be a picture with some text on it. Change it up, try some different things. I mean, this is all a big learning experience. So
yeah, that was the next thing I wanted to ask you about, that as far as is doing multiple content. And because you definitely hit the nail on the head with me, as far as like, just keep putting it out. All right. Yeah. Are you finding being consistent on putting the same thing out, or should we experiment with multiple types of content?
I think you should try multiple types of content. Obviously, if you find something that works really well, then milk it. For me, I started creating lists, 10 things that or 10 hard truths for artists and songwriters, or
love those videos.
10 things that could be holding an artist back, in their career, or any things like that. And they've done really well. It's you have to keep in mind that for a lot of people, when they're scrolling, they're not in a spot necessarily where they can listen with audio.
That's right.
And so giving content or putting out content where people can consume it without having to listen to it is, I think, a really important edge to have in your toolkit, right? Yeah. I think some things are great with audio, and there are people that listen with audio, but it's somebody on their lunch break at work, or it's somebody in the morning as they're getting ready, and you don't want the loud sound on your phone. So give them content that they can consume in many different contexts, and I think it will do really well. But I think there is something to even doing a little bit of research on your own feed of what's actually working and what's not working. For me, when I've seen the weeks with the most growth and the most engagement were weeks that I posted 3 times a day, right first thing in the morning, lunchtime, and then in the evening. And
so that is your schedule then?
Yeah, I don't do it every day. I got 2 little kids at home, and it's not always possible.
Have you found, are you scheduling your post, or are you just kind of doing them and then?
Yeah, I haven't yet. I will at times try to batch out content. Yeah. So I will think through what I want to post over the next week. I'll film as much content as I can. I'll just schedule it for myself. So, Monday morning or whatever it is, I'll set aside an hour or something to film a bunch of content for the upcoming week or 2. I edit it myself. I put it all together, and then I start posting throughout the week. I know that there are apps that you can use to schedule your posts. I just haven't done it at this point. I've tried to stay also very consistent on commenting back to people, responding to messages, which obviously as the page grows, that gets harder and harder. But trying my best to, again, it's all about the algorithm, which I know sounds so weird, and and you can be frustrated all you want that that's the world we live in as musicians, but it is the world we live in, and the algorithm determines how many people see your content. And so for me, I have found that when I'm engaging with people, when I'm posting consistently, the algorithm pushes the content out to a lot of people. And for my social media side of what I do, the majority of what I post is just about helping other people.
Yeah.
So if nobody's seeing that, then that's a real bummer for me, because my goal is to help folks. So yeah, I play by the algorithm's rules, and it's worked out pretty good so far.
Yeah. What's probably one of the biggest lessons you think you've learned the hard way that's made you better or stronger in this realm we're working in right now?
That's a good question.
I've got a number of them.
I think
I got so many screw-ups.
No, I know. I think for me, a big game changer was learning. Sorry, I hit my camera there.
Yeah.
I think a big game changer was embracing co-writing. For years, I wrote by myself. I was still learning, obviously, but there was also a good bit of pride in me that loved saying, "Oh, I wrote this. I wrote this all by myself." Mm-hmm. And when I first started co-writing, I was living in Los Angeles. I was in a folk rock band for a number of years, and my drummer was a great songwriter, and he and I started sitting down to write songs together. And what I started experiencing was all of these new pathways and avenues and ways to think about melodies and ways to think about lyrics that I had never ever considered before writing with my buddy Sean. Mm-hmm. And it was so eye-opening, because at the end of the song, I couldn't anymore. That pride in me had to die, because I can no longer say I wrote it all by myself.
Yeah.
But I could be twice as proud about the song because it was so much better than what I could create on my own. Yeah. I still have a couple songs that I love. I wrote it on my own, but the majority of what I write now, I write with other people, and that has been such a game changer, because just the quality of songs has gone up dramatically. Mm-hmm. Both ways. It's not just that, oh, I'm a weak songwriter and I need help, but also I'm able to help them see their blind spots. Their friends are bringing songs to me going like, what am I not seeing here? What am I missing? Because that's what it is. That's a blind spot. What am I missing? Yeah.
And it's just classic someone on the outside looking in. It's always helps to have someone on the outside. It's just like proofreading anything that you write or anything. Hey, look this over, because it's a fresh set of eyes and ears.
Exactly. So that's been a game changer. The quality of songs has gone up dramatically, and it's I found such joy in it. It's not begrudgingly that I engage with other people in songwriting. There's such a joy in collaboration. There's such a joy in sitting across the table from other people that deeply care about this too, and putting your heads together and going like, let's make something awesome today. Like, let's write something great. I was in a co-write yesterday with a couple guys, and me and this other guy, Jonathan, we're working on this bridge, and both of us are just tearing up. Like, we're like, oh my gosh, what did we just write? Like, this is powerful.
Oh man.
So it's such a joy and such a blessing to be able to write with other people that you align with, that you care about, and you both care about the craft. And so I wish I'd started that sooner.
Well, that's the cool thing I love about that, from that story that you just said. It sounds like you found your people. And that is definitely an ace in the hole for anyone in this type of industry, is find your people. And that's one of the beautiful things I love about how social media and how TikTok, the algorithm with TikTok is just, it's amazing to me how it finds your people. If you're honest on what you're putting out there in your content, your people will find it. So when you said you've only been in town for a little over a year, so give someone some advice. Because if someone is a young gun, or somebody who's chasing a dream that's always wanted to go to Nashville and be an artist or a writer, how would you give them the advice to approach it?
Well, my advice, it would slightly depend on where you're at in your career. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it a long time, so me coming to Nashville a year ago, I've learned a lot along the way.
Yeah,
and it's helped me get connected.
Did you know people when you came into town, or were you was it a fresh
not too
slate?
Many?
Okay,
yeah, not too many. Had a few connections, friends of friends, things like that. But those relationships that I built elsewhere along the way have absolutely made this transition so much easier. The other thing that I will say is social media has made this transition so much easier, which I don't want to talk too much about social media. I don't want to beat a dead horse or whatever, but it has opened up so many doors. 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to meet 100 people in a new city, that required dozens of nights out to writers rounds, open mics, shows, just to try and meet folks. So if you can get consistent and good with social media before you move to that big city, I promise you it'll make your transition a lot easier. But let's take social media off the table. Like I said, I think some of it depends on where you're at in your career. I think when you move to a city, I think something that's important is keeping in mind what you want to accomplish, and that will determine what city you want to go to. And meaning Los Angeles has a very different music scene than Nashville. New York has a very different music scene than Nashville. Is there much left in
Los Angeles for a music scene? That's what I'm curious, because you hear it a lot about how a lot of LA guys have basically all moved to Nashville now. Is that true? I mean,
a lot have, but there still is absolutely a music scene in LA.
Still one there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just different. It's just different. I think if you want to be a professional songwriter, in my opinion, Nashville is the right place to be. Obviously, if you want to be a country artist, I think Nashville is the right place to be. But I meet people here all the time that are in lots of different genres, and they love Nashville.
Sure.
I will say, I lived in Los Angeles for 4 years, and man, I'm really enjoying the atmosphere and the warmth of the culture here in Nashville. Nashville strikes me as very welcoming, very warm. A lot of people are very kind, and so
we still say yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. There is just a hospitality here that is pretty amazing to step into. So, yeah, if you're moving to a new city, I think you have to expect to have to get out and hustle.
Yeah.
And nowadays, part of that hustle is going to be online on social media, but part of that is there's so many workshops. There's so many small events with industry people. There's so many writers rounds and open mic nights. And I think for most people, again, like I said, you can dream about that open door all you want, but if you don't open your own front door, I don't think that's going to happen for you. You got to get out, and you have to expect that that's part of the grind.
Yeah.
Now, the saying goes, obviously in Nashville, it's a 10-year town. I think some of that is true, but I think, like I said, some of it depends on where you're at in your career. But there's no hard and fast rules. I mean, I've seen a number of young bucks absolutely explode in that first year, just like of one viral post, and like their life has changed forever.
But do they stick with it?
Well, that's the key. That's the consistency part. Once that initial viral momentum wears off, like, do you still have the grit to stick with it? That's the key. Absolutely. Yeah, I think for most people, it's approaching networking from a relational perspective. Networking can feel so icky because it can feel just basically like, what can I get from you? But I think if you step into a new city going, what can I give? I think that makes a big difference. I think people are going to feel that from you. If that's your heart, if that's your mindset, not what can I get, but what can I give?
What can I do?
Where can I contribute? Where can I pour in? How can I help other people? Now that's a big, I could go into that for a while. That for me was a hard lesson that I had to learn for a long time. Because when you give and when you pour into other people and you help them, there's a good chance that they may not turn around and do that back to you in return. They may not help you. You might help them up on that next rung on the ladder. And in your heart, you're like, man, it'd be really cool if you turned around now and reached down and helped me. And they don't. They keep on climbing.
They keep going. Yeah.
The problem is when you allow that to create bitterness in your heart, and you start becoming jaded, and that becomes pretty toxic. And I struggled with that for years. I've always been a guy, just like who you see on TikTok is who I've been for years before TikTok, which is a guy that helps other artists on their journey. I've always been that guy. I love being that guy. Seeing, okay, here's where you're at. Here's point A. This is your point B. Here's how we get you there. Let's do this. And I've had a number of people not turn back around to lend the hand. And that for years caused me a lot of heartache and a lot of bitterness. And I had to let all of that go. And I'm glad I did before I moved here to Nashville, because I think it's made a big difference.
Yeah, because you don't want to bring that there and it affects you in a fresh town with fresh people.
Absolutely.
And that's so cool that you were able to, basically, I've always had that term, look, you have to know where to put people. You have to know what to expect. You expect this out of these people. Okay, but that's fine. You know where to put them. You can still be friends with them, and you can still be cordial, but just know where to put them. I've told my kids that, and my wife and I have always preached that. Like, look, you're going to meet people in your life. You can still be friends with them, or you can still work with them, or collaborate with them if you want to. Just know where to put them and know where you stand with them, and don't be upset about it. That's such a wonderful trait that you have that, because a lot of folks can't really do that.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a blessing for sure. There's been a number of artists that are doing incredible things now, and I'm so happy that I was able to help them on their journey. But I think that's the other thing is managing expectations. When you move to a new big city, you just got to manage your expectations. The expectation needs to be, I'm going to hear the word no a lot. Yeah, I'm going to be told no often, and rejection,
or just ignored,
or completely ghosted, and that one does still bother me, because
I think that's worse than a no to me.
It's just so it feels very inconsiderate, It feels very inconsiderate. I think people struggle with confrontation, and not confrontation like a blow up argument, but even just we're not aligned in this, and I'm afraid to tell you that, But I think a big lesson that I wrapped my head around over the last couple of years is this concept of the word no. I watched it was a viral post or something about this. I wish I could give credit to it, because I just can't remember what it was from. But basically, a guy said, let me change your mind on the word no. The word no for so many people, myself included, over the years was devastating. You'd get that next rejection. You got your hopes up for this meeting that was coming, and then the word is no. And it would crush you, for a week. You just be like, I suck. I might as well quit. Like this, I can't take another no. And this guy goes, I'm going to flip it on its head. What if you knew that you were only 20 more no's away from the one yes you needed? How quickly would you go out and get the next no? And the guy's like, I'd go get it right now.
I wouldn't think anything about it.
I wouldn't think anything of it. Who cares? In 20 no's, I get my yes. Like, I'm going to go get rejected all day long right now. And that is such a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, it doesn't matter how many no's you get. All that matters is the one yes. And that's what everybody needs. All you need is the one.
My dad was in sales.
Yeah.
All growing up, and in sales, and I've been in sales all my life as well too. I think probably the best advice, one of the best piece of advice my dad gave me was, son, no doesn't mean no. It just means not today.
Yeah.
And that's the way I've always had to kind of look at it, and that kind of deal. But I love that one there. I mean, how many no's do you have to get? That you'd blow right through them just to get to that next. Yes, that's a great analogy. I love that.
Exactly. So, yeah, you're moving to a big city. Do I think it's smart to move to a big city? Like I said, it's hard. 'Cause I mean, some people really don't thrive in a big city. I think some of it comes down to also your personality and what you want to accomplish. If music is a hobby for you, then I don't think you have to be in a big city. Mm-hmm. But if you're wanting a mainstream career, then I think you have to be around that mainstream industry. Yeah. I think proximity creates opportunities that you're not going to find elsewhere.
Sure.
And so, it's a hard one, because it's not a guarantee. That's the hard part.
So how old are your kids?
They're 4 and 2. We got 2 boys.
Oh man, you've got tiny ones.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
that's cool. You got them there and kind of got them settled. So, are you guys is that going to be your forever home in Nashville, or just depends if any opportunities arise?
We're approaching it that way. We have found, if we move to a new place, but we have in the back of our minds, we're probably going to leave soon. You kind of always have one foot out the door. Yeah, and it's really hard to get planted in a place when you're doing that. And so, in my opinion, when you move to a new place, I think it benefits you to go, this is where I'm at. I'm going to get planted. I'm going to find a community. I'm going to find a church. I'm going to find friends. I'm going to pour into the music scene I'm around. I'm going to do everything I can to make this home. And so, part of us moving to Nashville obviously was music related, but part of it too was going, where can we see our boys growing up? And I have family that moved here right after we did. So, cool. it makes being here, although we know that we're new, having family here and approaching this as if this is where we're going to be for the long haul, it makes it feel like home a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to spend with us. I really appreciate it. Do you have a website that folks can check you out, or is it you just doing the Instagram and TikTok?
I'm working on the website right now. I'm redoing my website, so I won't. Well, but by the time this comes out, I bet we'll probably have the website up. I promise I'll have the website by then. So
perfect. Just
chrismolitormusic.com.
I'm telling you, if they haven't found you on TikTok yet, they need to go ahead and look you up, because I found you on a FYP a while back and started just liking your post, and you kept showing up. I'm like, I get this guy a follow. I'm really loving his content and what he's doing.
I appreciate that, man.
And I tell all my buddies out there that are independent artists, I'm like, look, you've got to follow this guy. He is incredible. And just, if anything, if you're feeling down, just watch some of your videos. I mean, it'll definitely turn your day around if you're just feeling like you got your butt kicked and you're wore out. Go check out Chris. But man, best wishes to you, my friend. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. And
thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
To you, for sure, in your
Thanks,
future.
man. You too.